You're watching Ticket TV. Like, share, and subscribe on your way in.
All right, y'all. So here we go. We back. I think it's like episode 10. I'm in here with the world's most infamous, you know what I'm saying? My legendary co-host, the beautiful Dominique. And man, I miss you. What's going on?
I miss you too. I'm here with the legendary Big Ticket. Are you kidding me?
Yo, you crazies don't know what, man. They thought we was finished, but nah, it was a couple things we had to take care of, you know what I'm saying? But we
Yeah,
are
I
back
mean,
for you guys.
listen, guys, I just got promoted at my job. So, drop me a little congratulations in the chat. That's what I've been working on. But we're back and I'm excited. So take it away, Ticket.
Most definitely, man. I'm glad to have you in here again. And we're gonna do it bigger than ever, you know what I'm saying? And we appreciate all of you guys who actually were like fans and supporting the show that when we first was on here. And now you guys are back. They all dropping you congratulations in the chat. See, they're showing you big love. I like that.
So
You see what I'm
sweet.
saying?
You guys are the
So
best.
yeah, I love the elements that you bring. You know, so I love people that challenge me. I like that. A lot of people think I don't like that. I like that. I like the way that you give your thoughts and you stand on how you feel. I respect that. Even if we don't have to agree, it's cool.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you, Ticket. And I'm really excited for tonight's show and what we're going to talk about. So,
Oh yeah. So look, so let's get right into it. So, Diddy has a lot of situations he's got going on. And like recently he's been hit with multiple different allegations. Like he's got whole situation they say he's got that's cooking out in LA. They may hit him with another RICO out in LA. It's been reported in the LA Times that he has investigations, two investigations that they have been investigating him, that they actually sent to the district attorney to see if they're going to file charges on him on those cases right there. And then as he gets hit with that information, he got hit with a whole nother allegation, right? In New York. So let's start off. I want to show you this first. So and I want to get your thoughts on this, and then we're going to fast forward to the singer, the Diddy Dirty Money singer, and everything that's been going on today with her. That's a whole nother situation that's going on today. And a lot of people think that she got a win. I mean, she got a loss when really this thing is just getting started. Now, I'm going to show you, and I want to share this on the screen. This is the whole situation with Diddy. This is how it kicked off the other week. So it pretty much kicked off with this, where you had an actor that was a youngin that came out with allegations out of Los Angeles. Now, this actor was a youngin, that supposed to have been famous, had been in some shows and stuff like that, and had went to a party where they met Diddy, and was basically networking, and he said that Diddy sexually assaulted him, right? So I pretty much think I know who this person is. I can't really reveal their name from knowing who that person is right there. But that's how this all kicked off. It kicked off with those allegations. And then it went from those allegations to this whole situation. Like a couple days later, it went right to this one right here with this woman in New York, this youngin in New York, who wasn't out of age, saying that he basically took her, came and saw her, picked her up, and she was trying to go home, but she told him she didn't want to ride, but he kept insisting. And then she says that he just, finally she just gave in and was like, all right, cool, y'all can take me around the corner to my crib, and says they didn't take her home. They took her to a different place, and she was worried. And she said they had given her a drink. Basically, she says they drugged her, they all worded her, and blah, blah, blah. They sexually assaulted her and then took her back home and dropped her off in the building. So she is now suing him for those claims in New York. So that's LA, New York. Now you got a whole nother situation that came out today where people were celebrating the situation with Diddy Dirty Money singer Don Rashad. But a lot of people have missed a key point in this claim. Now, here's this one on the screen. Now, this one's today. Now, all the media have been running around, said Diddy scored a legal win with Don Rashad. That's a girl from Diddy Dirty Money. Lawsuit. She filed a lawsuit in a federal court against Diddy. In her lawsuit, she had multiple allegations against Diddy in that lawsuit. She accused Diddy in that lawsuit And matter of fact, let me go ahead and show you the different things that she accused Diddy of in that lawsuit. I'm gonna let y'all know what happened because everybody's celebrating. It's funny how the whole media did this whole outlook that, oh yeah, you know, he got the case thrown out, but people don't know exactly what happened. So basically, and I'm gonna get your reaction to all of this. Basically, the case details is the former Danity Kane and Diddy Dirty Money singer, she had filed her complaint in a New York federal court. So remember, there's a difference between a federal and a state court, right?
Mhm.
So in the federal court, her lawsuit had outlined a pattern of misconduct during her time of working with Diddy from 2004 to 2012. She basically accused Diddy of sexual assault, saying that he groped her breast and her ass in changing rooms on multiple occasions. She accused him of inhumane conditions. She says that he regularly deprived her and her bandmates of food and sleep. She also claimed that he had physical intimidation against her, that he held meetings while wearing only underwear and frequently threw objects like laptops and studio equipment in fits of rage at them. And she also said that she witnessed abuse, to where she stated that she witnessed Diddy physically abuse Cassie. And she later testified those events in that federal trial that Diddy had. Now, come to today, in the federal court, a U.S. district judge by the name of Catherine Polk Faia, she dismissed that federal lawsuit, right? Now, everybody's going wild on social media because they're saying, oh, Diddy got the lawsuits dismissed. See, it wasn't true. This is why you read the fine print. And the media doesn't tell y'all this. That lawsuit of hers was not dismissed because the judge said it wasn't true. The lawsuit was dismissed. 15 of her claims were dismissed because, and I'm going to read this right here. It was not dismissed on the validity of the abuse, but it was decided on technical and structural grounds, meaning the dates. Her dates of those claims had been outdated according to the federal judge. So because the date was further along than what the federal judge could permit, that's why the judge threw those claims out. Now, the judge allowed one claim to go forward as far as she'll be able, because as you see right here, it says that the dismissal was not a ruling on the validity of the abuse, but was decided on technical and structural grounds. Now, the statute of limitations, it said that the judge ruled that 15 of her claims, including the primary accusations of emotional and physical abuse, happened too long ago, concluding around 2012, and missed the New York filing deadlines. So she basically missed the deadline. This is the reason why the media has put this like, oh, Diddy gets a major legal win. No. The only reason why Diddy won this is because she missed the deadline to file a lawsuit, right, in the federal courts. So also the copyright claim, her two copyright claims on the song Deliver Me, they were also dismissed because Diddy was a legal co-author of that track. So those were dismissed because of that. Now, the judge dismissed her claims that was filed under the New York Victims Gender Violence Motivated Law without prejudice. Now, her legal team has now come out, and her legal team has stated that not only are they going to stand on business, but as you see on your screen right here, they're going to refile these charges. But this time, they're able to refile the sexual assault charges in state court. So now everybody thinks that Diddy got away with this. No, he didn't get away. They're refiling these sexual assault claims in state court against Diddy. Now, basically, as I told you, she claimed that he groped her ass, groped her breast, did all these things to her. And so now, like I said, those claims are going to a state court, and they plan, as you see right here, Richard's legal team told USA Today, Richard, that they plan to pursue justice for Diddy, right, in state court. So now they're going to a state court to jump on his ass. And it says, we certainly agree with the judge that the allegations in this case are execrable. Her attorney said, the Bloom's firm, Arik Fudali. He said that. He said, we are encouraged and look forward to pursuing our primary claim filed under the Gender Motivated Violence Act in state court in New York, per the judge's decision. We intend to continue to fight for Dawn until justice is achieved. So everybody got this messed up. Diddy got got those allegations thrown out of federal court based off of the the music allegations, because he was a co-author, but the other allegations because of the time. She didn't file it within a certain time. Like, you have to have a certain date that you got to file it within, and she didn't meet that date. So everybody's saying, "Oh, Diddy didn't do it. He didn't do it." No, that's not the truth. The judge didn't say that. The judge said he didn't file it in the time. So now she's taking a sexual assault claim that was not thrown out, and she's filing that in state court. So now let's get to you and talk to you. I want to talk to you because I didn't get your opinion on any of this stuff. We hadn't even talked about any of this. So I want to get your opinion. What's your thoughts? First of all, let's start with the child actor out of Los Angeles, right? That said that Diddy met him at a party, took him to a room, gave him a drink. Seems to be the MO with everybody. Gave him a drink, took him to a room, and then sexually, he said Diddy gave him oral sex, and why he pleasured himself, and told him, "Hey man, we'll see what happens later." What's your thoughts on that, man?
My thoughts on that is, I just think that some of these allegations are going to be false. It's just like, okay, if 60 people came out against Diddy, maybe not everything is true. There's going to be people coming out of the woodwork. I'm not saying that nothing happened to this gentleman. I just don't know if I believe the gay stuff. So everything that was like presented to us in court, it seems like he had, Cassie, Jane Doe, none of these women necessarily like reported any acts between him and another male. There's been rumors about Diddy being gay, but there's just been nothing that's like really formally come out. So I'm curious to see what happens in this case. For some reason, it just doesn't feel believable that Diddy was going down on another man. It doesn't seem believable to
Okay,
me,
so
only because, and I'm going to tell you why. It's because typically, people like Diddy who are in power, who are abusing their power, people like Diddy who are, they have a lot of ego and control wrapped up in who they are. I just think that for them, sex is about power. It's about overpowering somebody. So, I've heard other stories like that singer, Christopher Williams. Remember that guy? He sang that song, "Don't Wake Me, I'm
I'm
Dreaming."
dreaming.
That guy. So there was a rumor about him apparently giving Diddy, like going down on him in an office, and somebody walked in on him doing that. To me, that sounds more believable just because of the power dynamic that that Diddy has overpowered people. And it's been like a thing, like, okay, I'm going to make you do this to me because I can, not necessarily because he's gay. So I think for him, sex is about power. It's about wielding his power. And so I don't know if he was doing these things. It doesn't,
Okay,
it feels less believable to me based on what I know about power dynamics and the psychology behind it.
so the judge has deemed it good enough to go forward so far. As far as this child actor has presented the name of their talent agency, they've presented the time frame that this happened. They've presented certain evidence that this actually made national news. And not only that, this was reported on Law and Crime that this is probably going criminal. This and the one with Jonathan Hay. Now, Jonathan Hay is Rihanna's former publicist, and he was big in the industry. He's like a big figure in the industry. He also accused Diddy of forcing him to give Diddy fellatio, right? And so that is being currently investigated by the LA. Well, not, it's already been investigated by the LAPD. Those claims have been sent to the DA, and they're trying to determine right now if they're going to file charges on Diddy, which he probably going to get hit with RICO charges. So that guy, Jonathan Hay, and the child actor, they both have the same lawyer. This is the same lawyer. So I believe those two cases, because it was reported that two cases right now, the LAPD is looking at these 2 different cases. I believe that those are the cases that they're looking at. Matter of fact, I'm gonna show you right now what I'm talking about, so you get a better understanding of what's going on. So, because that to me, for the police, is not just civil. Now you're looking at criminal. So that has to be valid for them to send that to the DA. They have to feel like this is valid enough for them to send that to the DA. So it says Sean Combs' sexual assault case is under review in Los Angeles, authorities say. Now, as you see right there, it says the Los Angeles County's prosecutors are reviewing 2 sex assault cases against Diddy, right? That stem from allegations that was made by Jonathan Hay, the former Florida music producer, right? And he was a publicist for Rihanna. And basically, they said that those cases were presented to them, right? And you see the second paragraph, it says that the investigators from the Los Angeles Police Department and the Los Angeles County Sheriff Department presented the cases to the prosecutors in January, according to the statement from the district attorney's office. And this report just came out the other day. So those 2 cases have actually been presented, from what I believe, to the prosecutors, and the prosecutors are determining if they're going to officially bring charges against Diddy. So this isn't just a civil situation. This is a criminal situation. Then here's another thing. I think it makes it more credible that it's a child actor, a person who was famous. Those are the harder people that get to come out to make these type of claims. So for a judge to say, okay, we can get this far and not throw out these claims as this far, the only thing Diddy's been able to say is, oh, he's a hater. That was Diddy's response. He's a hater on a gravy train. You know what I'm saying? He's a hater on a gravy train, and the allegations aren't true. But this child actor, he's named the talent agencies that he was signed to. He was signed to real legitimate talent agencies. He's named all this in the lawsuit. So he's put a lot of specific. That's why the media ran with this. The mainstream media, like you see, let me show you.
No, I actually see. So this is being reported by CNN.
Yeah. That's what I was trying to tell you. So
this definitely has legs. This definitely has air and breath. I just, just from all of the, the other claims of things that he's done, like somebody in the comments said he has no soul and he will do anything. And honestly, I agree. It's just like it is just so difficult to believe that somebody would want to do all of these different things. Like, where is the time in the day? But he had it. I mean, I don't put anything past Diddy, and I'm always going to a place where I want to believe accusers, I want to believe victims. So, and not every victim is telling the truth, but I mean, Diddy has proven himself to be evil, to be horrible.
Did you see the video?
The video of him beating up Cassie?
No, not that. No. Did you see the sex video?
No.
The sex video was released with him, and the freak off video was released.
Daphne Joy, right?
Yes. You saw that? Did you hear about that?
I didn't see it, but I
saw
Diddy. I'm sorry. I saw 50 Cent reacting to it. That's
so listen, let me say this to you.
We didn't talk about that.
I'm going to say this to you, though. We're going to talk about it right now. Let's say this to you. The video was more focused on the dude.
Oh, he's gay.
The video was more focused on the dude.
So I'm thinking that Diddy so what I always thought was that Diddy had some sort of like voyeurism, sort of like cuckolding, syndrome, where like he really took pleasure in seeing and
somebody else
serving somebody, being with his woman. You know what I mean? I thought that was what it was about. Like he liked watching her.
Now, dude said he climbed up over top of him, butt ass naked. Like while he was doing it, he climbed up behind him, and he was like, one of the sex workers like, "Hey, what you doing, man? Like, hold on, man." He was like, you know what I'm saying? He was like, and he said, one of the sex workers said, Diddy asked him, was he gay? And he would say he was getting ready to fight him. He said, well, Diddy asked him, was he gay? He said he was getting ready to fight right there. He said, then Diddy gave him a wad of money and told him, don't worry about it, forget about it. You know what I'm saying? And so you had those, and then also like the videotape. It was just focused on the dude. And the dude was saying that Diddy was saying that, like, yo, if I had y'all size, that I could do this if I was y'all. And they said they was looking at each other like, huh, what's wrong with this guy? And then he was just like fixated on their manhood, you know what I'm saying? And fixated on them. Like, yeah. So the dude was like,
like, honestly, you go to a place where, damn, like you just, you don't believe. it is just, we can't put anything past this guy. Like, I'm like literally about to throw up in my mouth. Honestly, like, oh my
Now,
God.
when you said, hold on, now when you said not to believe people, now I agree with you because Daphne Joy, she played herself. Like, I totally don't believe her. After I saw that video, and it's not the video because you can still try to like control somebody with drugs or control them with like beatings and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's what she did after the video, going on world tour, doing interviews, like sexualizing herself, doing a discount on OnlyFans, going on here showing all her Tommy guns online. Like I said, just her actions in the aftermath of being exposed in that video, I don't believe her. And I think she ruined I think she was a big reason that the federal trial against Diddy was ruined.
So do I.
Because
I think that she blew that trial for them. And I just want to address something real quick in the comments. I do not think that Diddy is innocent. He is a pervert. I am not defending him. So please don't. I am not a Diddy fan in here. I just, based on the history of all the things that have come to light that we know are facts, it's just like, damn, you're thinking that this is all about power and control for him. So he's making men give him fellatio, not the other way around. Not that he's in fact the bottom and the top. I've never, you know what I mean? Like, a man is a bottom and a top. That's a little, I don't know. It's a lot. There's a lot going on. And Diddy is,
remember,
absolutely crazy. And then when you think about a young child star, it actually makes sense that maybe he would do something like that because it's molestation, like you're molesting a child. So yeah, this is just all, it's disgusting, that's really what it is, plain and simple.
well, I had questions, and I'm gonna say this to you from the beginning, right? About that when the former co-founder and former president of Bad Boy came out and said that Diddy, sexually assaulted him as a man. Now, I don't know if you remember these claims. That was Kirk Burrows. He was like the former. He co-founded Bad Boy with Diddy.
Oh, Kirk Burrows said that that Diddy forced himself on
Yeah,
him?
I'm about to tell you right now. So Kirk
Okay.
Burrows.
I watched the 50 Cent documentary and I didn't see any of that in there.
Yeah. He said that in the documentary, but not only that, he said that in his lawsuit. I'm going to tell you what he said. This is what made me really believe that, because like he was close to Diddy like all the time from the very beginning. You know what I'm saying? So like, and he know a lot of secrets, a lot of things that went on behind that whole network. So for him to come out, he had no reason to like lie. He put out a lot of information as far as the whole situations with Tupac, with Biggie. He put out a lot of different information in that lawsuit that's going to be hard to kind of disseminate into like, and to deflect. And then also you have Lil Rod, who said he woke up every day beside Diddy with his cake sore. He said his ass was sore every morning he woke up beside Diddy. So like, you don't want to laugh, but he literally said that shit. People was like, bro, why would you keep going to bed beside a dude that you said you woke up every day and your cheeks were sore, bro? But he said
the only thing is about Little Rod, it's just like he was naming everybody. I'm like, so everybody was raping him? Like,
yeah, well, listen, he said that, but here's the thing. He said that he had proof, and he did show pictures of him, and he showed pictures of Cuba Gooding Jr. with his hand in his lap and in his thigh. Did you see that picture?
Well, Cuba is actually like a known like sexual harasser. I thought that he was like on the run from allegations that he did not beat. So I
heard something about that. I forgot what that was.
Yeah, that, like, I think we need to look into that, because I thought that he was convicted of something, or and he's been like on the run. But honestly, if these allegations are true about Diddy, then this isn't just another celebrity scandal. It's like a devastating example of what happens when power, fame, and access collide, with vulnerability. And I just think that these people are in a position where they either need something or want something. For some of these women, it's an apartment, it's a place to live, it's a lifestyle. For some of these men or women, it's also, they think that they're going to get on. They think that they're going to become, rich and famous. They think they're going to be a singer or a rapper, and they become, abused, a victim. That's what they.
So let me tell you this before I tell you the allegations that Kirk Burrows said. So in the video, Diddy's walking around baby oiled up, butt naked, like a turkey, like a Thanksgiving turkey. He's oiled all the way up, and
Absolutely disgusting.
he's walking around like in front of the dude and the girl. And the dude, he's got like a python on this girl, and Diddy's just walking around in front of him, just like, you know, pleasuring himself, like the whatever he got. You can't even see nothing, but he's just walking around like that, like, yeah, like he's just fixing things around the room and stuff like that. It's crazy, yo. And then when you look at the video is not focused on her. The video is focused on the dude. The video is literally focused on this dude and the work that the dude is doing. It's not focused on the girl. That made me think too. But Kirk Burrows, he came out. And again, he basically accused Diddy of these allegations right here on your screen. He basically said that Diddy cornered him in the room, removed his keys to prevent him from leaving, pinned him down on a bed, and simulated intercourse on top of him until he squeezed. Then he said that Diddy frequently groped him and touched his beefcake and his ass without consent. He also claimed that Diddy in a 1995 encounter greeted him completely in the nude and demanded that he watch him pleasure himself, choke his chicken. He also alleged that Diddy regularly forced him to watch him engage in explicit sexual acts with other co-workers directly inside the Manhattan business offices. And he claimed that Diddy regularly engaged in the acts of nudity, exhibitionism, and sexual overtones during the routine corporate business. He also claimed that Diddy used to make him, give him top. So these were all those claims that Kirk Burrows had from back then. Like, if you go read that lawsuit, Dominique, it's diabolical, that lawsuit that he had against Diddy, and all the claims where he was claiming that Diddy was making him, give BJs and stuff like that to him. And it was sickening. So when he said that, that's when I started believing the other people. Now, the girl, as we fast forward from the dude, the girl, she came out, and the 16-year-old girl said that she was outside of her apartment building in Lower Manhattan. She was a babysitter part-time, and she was in school. She was still in high school, babysitter, part-time, blah, blah, blah. She says Diddy saw her outside of her building, pulled up in an SUV with two other people that was with him, and basically told her, hey, where you going? You need a ride? She's like, no, I don't need no ride. I live right around the corner. And she was like, Diddy wouldn't stop till she agreed to take a ride. So she said when she got in, they went past her place, and she started getting concerned that Diddy just gave her something to drink. She said that she drunk that drink. Boom. She says that Diddy, the next thing you know, they took her to this location that was somewhere around, sexually assaulted her, and then took her back and dropped her off at her building. Now, those claims that girl made, the judge deemed that those claims was legitimate enough. Let me show you this to move on in court. And that right there and people don't know that. Like, those claims right there, that was the one when the lawyer said that originally that those claims was like kind of like legit enough to go forward in court. That's when I thought, I was like, damn, man. So I'm gonna show you right here. I'm gonna show you right here on the screen. So he said this. Shout out to my boy Diddy Docket, but he posted it. So the judge, this is a 16-year-old girl, right? Versus Diddy, and then two other people she claims that was with Diddy. And she says she's going to name them very soon. The two other co-conspirators, the two other people that was with Diddy that day. But the judge, Strauss, said the court finds that the plaintiff has alleged facts specific to their case and the affirmation and support of the motion. So the judge found that the plaintiff has alleged facts specific to their case and the affirmation and support of this person's motion. So the judge, he deemed him, credible enough at that time to move on. It doesn't mean that it's true, but the judge says, it's enough here. You know what I'm saying? So what's your thoughts on that, the 16-year-old girl?
My thoughts is that Diddy just needs to be in jail for life. The fact that he has only gotten 4 years and there's just loads and loads and loads of cases against him. I hope that he comes out and goes right back in. I hope that his time out of jail is very short-lived, if he even comes out at all. That's what I hope.
Right. I mean, do you think it's plausible that a 16-year-old girl be vulnerable to that at that time? Like, as far as somebody coming famous, picking her up and
For
taking her
sure.
around?
I think 16-year-old girls can be vulnerable to a regular person picking them up on the street and taking them somewhere else, not to their home, and raping them and returning them back. Like, and we're talking about, this is a celebrity person. This is somebody with money, power, he's in a car full of men, you know. It's so sad and awful. Like, you could have anybody that you want, and you have to prey on young women. You have to prey on people who can't defend themselves, a vulnerable person, somebody who's strucken by your stardom and influence and all the music that you've made. I just think he is a complete disgrace.
Okay, so now we go to the one with Don Rashad, the woman from Diddy Dirty Money. Now she made a lot of claims against him. She, like I said, she even testified in the whole Cassie trial. She
Mhm.
basically testified on behalf of Cassie, said how Diddy used to beat up on Cassie and stuff like that. Diddy would be physical with them, how Diddy would treat them, like as far as not feed them and stuff. Like, what's your thoughts on that? How she said Diddy would starve him, not feed him, keep him in the studio working all the time.
I believe her 1,000,000%, and the reason why is because when you come from like those reality show sort of environments and stuff like that, it's common for regular production crews not to feed somebody, to give them a bunch of alcohol, no food, they can't watch TV, all sorts of things. So in the entertainment business, oftentimes they're not eating a lot of food. They're running around on fumes. They're drinking. They're smoking. They're jumping around from studio to studio, living this fast life. And the way that Diddy was living, obviously, these things were normal. There was a worker in the trial who testified to working 100-hour weeks. Like, how do you work 100-hour week without, and then you weren't even getting paid? He wasn't even getting paid, for doing all of that. Didn't he make like $120,000 a year or something like that? He reported that it wasn't even like he was, well compensated for the time that he was working. So, I believe that Diddy overworked her and the girls in the group. I believe that he didn't feed them. I believe that he withheld food and water and all kinds of things. I believe that he subjected them to inappropriate behavior, sexual harassment, all kinds of things. I believe it.
Wow. And what do you think about her other claims that Diddy sexually assaulted her, groped her breast, groped her ass in the dressing rooms, and things like that too?
I believe her. I believe that he did a lot of inappropriate things. I think that, even his son came out against her to say like, wow, she's lying or whatever. And I'm sure she was cool with the kids and I'm sure she did hang around and have good moments, but that's exactly how abuse works. And you tend to stay in those situations because you might have a good day. You might have some success with that person, and then you're thinking, okay, you're bound to this person because you can't get out from under what they're providing you, the lifestyle they're providing you, the clout that maybe you're getting. Where else could she have gone? Probably nowhere, right? So you have nowhere else to go. You have no other way to work. So I believe the claims that she's making, and maybe not every single thing is true, but I believe enough of it is true. And I believe that we heard all that we needed to hear about Diddy. And I believe that there's nothing that we can put past him at this point.
Wow. So he basically, I'm gonna say this to you, and this is just my full thoughts.
Mhm.
Um, she's going back to state court. She's going to state court. Excuse me, with those claims. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think it's gonna be hard on Diddy fighting all these cases. I want to show you something.
Mhm.
I want to show you something because when I saw this, it really made me sit back and say, "Damn, bro, like this is crazy." I want to show you this. I looked and I asked you, did you believe those claims?
Mhm.
And I asked you that because of this. Diddy has been accused by 25 youngins as of today. I want you to think about this. So this ain't no just one or two. No. Think about this. 25 youngins have accused him of this type of misconduct and abuse according to legal representations and civil lawsuits filed against him. I want you to think about this again. 25. That is the definition of an absolute alleged demon. 25. Right? Now, let's just say that even one of them were true. Right? Think about this.
I mean, every time another accuser comes forward, Ticket, the public is just told to believe that it's a coincidence, right? Every lawsuit is supposedly fabricated. It's somebody else just hanging on, right? Like that's what we're supposed to believe. Every allegation is supposedly motivated by money. Every accuser is supposedly lying. At some point, people do have the right to ask, like, how many times are we expected to hear the same kinds of accusations before we start treating them as isolated incidents and start asking the tougher questions? You said, like, since this all started, you've had some questions. I mean, the allegation involving a child actor is particularly disturbing, right? Because it strikes, I think, at the heart of one of Hollywood's ugliest realities, and that's young people chasing opportunities, and they find themselves in rooms with powerful adults who hold enormous influence over their futures. And that's just like, that's the truth of that matter. And I just think that that's why these child allegations, they hit differently. The average,
25 to this day.
younger people, we can't ignore that. 25. So all 25 young people are lying. That's what that means.
25. And people saying, oh, some people say, oh, y'all hating on Diddy. Nigga, how somebody hating when somebody got 25 youngins accusing him?
But also, let's be clear, what is there to hate on? What is there to hate on? He's sitting in a cell right now. His reputation is gone, ruined. He'll never be able to get back what he had. Never. I mean, the average person doesn't have $1 billion brand, a team of lawyers, celebrity connections, or decades of industry influence, right? Powerful figures do, though. That's exactly why these accusations involving powerful people deserve scrutiny, not less scrutiny. So, I mean, let's be honest. Diddy, is he too successful to do something like that? No. That defense has aged terribly throughout this entire ordeal. Fame is not character. Wealth is not integrity. Success is not innocence. And I'm sorry, but if these allegations are true, which I believe they are, I would be inclined to believe them given the volume, then what we're looking at, it's just not merely personal misconduct. We're looking at the alleged abuse of power by somebody who occupied one of the highest positions in music and entertainment. So, who else is out there? We're not going to talk about somebody else right now. We're talking about Diddy. We're talking about what he's doing. Somebody in the comments was like, oh, we got to address Epstein then as well.
Oh, well, no, hold on.
We are addressing him. But right now we're talking about Diddy. And quite frankly, the most frustrating part is watching some fans treat every allegation like a sporting event where their favorite celebrity has to win. This isn't a fan club debate. These are serious accusations, though.
Even this one presented this photo where she claims that was in his bad boy studio, where she's on his lap, right?
Mm-hmm.
She presented photos in the studio, right? She presented photos in that studio.
That's made up too. This is not true. This is just This photo is just photoshopped together. I guess it's AI,
right? And listen. It says United States District Court, Southern District of New York on the bottom of that picture. You see it in small print right there on the bottom of that picture where it says that. So to me, I'm just like, hold on, man. So people come in here, like I said, it truly bothers me that we live in this society where, again, You can have 20. Let's break this down real quick. If 25 people come into your house right now, and 25 people say, hey, man, it's rain, or no, 24 people say, hey, it's raining outside, pouring down raining. And one person says, nah, it's sunshine outside. Who are you going to believe?
The volume.
You're more likely to believe the 24 people that say, hey, it's raining outside, right?
Right.
Right. So now listen to this. This is the same way when you look at a lot of these cases. Now, are some people lying? Yes. And I think, and maybe you feel the same way. I don't know. I ask you. I feel like if you're lying, you should be prosecuted if you're lying on a person like Diddy. I believe that you should not lie and bring forth false allegations. I believe that you should be prosecuted by the law, and I believe it should be illegal. I believe it should be a crime to falsify allegations like that, because you can ruin somebody's life like that, right? And somebody told me it's a bad example. No, it's a great example. It's a great example because you have a damn near 100 allegations of sexual assault against Diddy. So out of 100 people telling you he sexually assaulted him, are you going to believe the majority or the minority?
The majority.
So to the person in the comment section, your name is Clarence DeWade. Bro, you said bad example. That's cap. That's a great example. That exactly explains what I'm saying. I'm saying to you that this man got 100 allegations total, damn near. But 25 of them are from youngins. 25. So if you got 25 youngins that's been reported to have allegations against you, 25, right? Let's just say I believe 10 out of the 25. He's a demon. He deserves to be in prison for the rest of his life. Let's say I believe 1 out of the 25. He's a demon. He deserves to be in prison for the rest of his life. That's the point you guys aren't understanding. That's the point you guys aren't understanding. If 1 out of those 25 is telling the truth, he deserves to be in prison for the rest of his life. Period. There's no other. I don't understand why people play this game. It shows your character when you accept this type of stuff. When you accept this or make excuses, it shows who you are. Am I right about that? Like, Dominic, let me ask you a question. What do you think about a person that tries to deflect from allegations like this against certain people? What's your thoughts about that? Like, what do you think about their character?
They have none. Yeah. I don't think they have good character at all. When you're deflecting, when you're trying to defend behavior like this, I think that there's something seriously wrong. I think it probably goes back to that person's childhood, and they're really trying to solve for something else.
Let me say something to you. And I'm gonna say something to you again. And I'm gonna be very honest with you. I've been so hard on this Diddy situation because in the black community, if this is supposed to be your leadership, if these are supposed to be the guys that are the leaders of the community and, vote or die and all this other stuff, and we stand on it, and this is the type of stuff that we supposed to be representing, man, I don't want no part of that shit.
Yeah.
We, in our society, we tend to believe more in celebrities than we do average, regular, everyday people. And think about this. Everybody want to come to the rescue and put a cape on for celebrities. But how many celebrities ran and put a cape on for certain people that's being accused of crimes in the black community? They don't even touch it.
Right.
They won't even touch it with a 10-foot. They're not finna mess up their money for you.
Nope.
You think they finna mess up their tour money and the man that's paying for their whole budget? Hell no. They're not finna mess that up for no everyday average citizen. They'll do a little work. They'll do some safe shit here or there. Something that they won't get them that much criticism. But they ain't finna really stand on business. So that's why I say the things that I say. When you see stuff like this, I'm sorry. That is a 25. Dominique, think about this. 25. 25. And people out here treating this stuff like it's normal. Same thing with R. Kelly. The girl comes out and says that was me on that tape. That was me. She said I was not of age. That was me on that videotape with R. Kelly. She came out of. Did you see that interview she did on CBS where she came out and admitted that? People still delusional running around here talking about, oh man, they said R. Kelly up. Man, the girl don't came out herself and confirmed it's her in the tape, not of age. What the hell is wrong with our society? Because somebody can make a song, they praise this stuff, man. It destroys me, man.
You want to know what's interesting about that R. Kelly sex tape? I remember it was all over the streets of New York City. Literally, you could buy it like a bootleg. And I think that people ran out. They bought that porn on the street. They watched it. They watched R. Kelly and a little girl, and they're so embarrassed that they don't want that to be true. So they want to deflect from their own disgusting viewership of that video to say that it's still not true. And it's absolutely, I mean, you can't.
At the time, listen, we didn't know who that was. Dominique, at the time, we never knew who that girl, we never knew who that person was. So listen, so that was
underage.
Right. So that gave an excuse. That made it more plausible for him to say, nah, it ain't me. Because we didn't know who it was. The person didn't speak out. They were quiet, blah, blah, blah. Now there's actually a face to that person that's telling you, no, that was me. I was humiliated. And that was him. And he did it. And people still capping. And I'm telling you, I'm starting to really question.
But it's also what happens when Black women come out, or, when Black people come out as victims, we shouldn't be believed. If it were a white woman that was saying, oh, that was me on that video, I mean, the whole world would have been, even Black people would have been supporting her and saying that she was, she was a victim. But this Black woman comes out and it's, oh, well, she lied back then, so she's lying now, or she just wants money, and all these things that we come up with in our own community to hold each other back and to hold each other down. And it's really sad, because we're not, for years, right? For years, people, we allowed for R. Kelly to do this to our young brothers and sisters. That's what we did.
I want to switch the topic for the last segment here. I'm trying to keep this like an hour and 5-10 minutes, but I want to switch for this last segment because I got to get your thoughts on this. Mm-hmm. And I know you're going to have something to say about this. So a report come out about Klay Thompson and Meg Thee Stallion. Did you hear about that?
No, I actually didn't.
So the report comes out that people close to Klay say that Meg was ghetto. She was loud, obnoxious, doing too much, going live, trying to like be too out there, things like that. And he couldn't stand that part, and they kind of pushed him away from her. What is your thoughts about the reports that Klay thought that she was loud and ghetto and all these other things that's coming out now, and that he was just like, man, just embarrassed by her, like the way she was acting and stuff, like it was always her posting stuff online of them together, like they could never have private moments. Mm-hmm. She always had all this security around her. She was allegedly always talking about Tory Lanez to him. What's your thoughts on that?
Honestly, I can believe it. And I think that there are plenty of men like Klay Thompson that are perceived as classy, that opposites attract, a quiet kind of, the quiet kind of guy, the strong, silent type. It could be, attracted to some loudmouth woman who carries herself a particular way, and, they're attracted to each other, but that doesn't make them right for each other. And so we see that happen all the time. And I think that was the case for Klay and Meg. I don't think that they were in a relationship meant to last, no matter what they were putting out there, no matter what it seemed like to us that they were, headed for marriage and all these other things. I don't think that they were truly compatible based on her behavior and based on his low key, persona that he had. It just wasn't a fit. It wasn't a match. I can believe these reports 100%. And that's what she was doing. She was constantly posting. She was constantly talking. And it's just so much better when you're a public figure to have your relationship. Okay, people might know about you guys being together, but it doesn't need to be for the public. And she was making their relationship for the public instead of for them. And so she, I don't know that she was having the relationship, in a genuine, authentic way. And so I can absolutely, to me, that report shows that he probably did cheat on her because he was this low key guy. He's going to be avoidant. He's going to be like, I don't even want to have, an argument with you. I'm just going to do what I want. I'm going to, tell you what you want to hear and do what I want on the back end because I don't even want to deal with your big mouth. I don't want to deal with your, just how you're behaving. And so to me, yes, I believe these reports too. So similarly to, I believe the reports that he was cheating on her, I believe this report that, she was ghetto, loud. He didn't really like that. And it wore on the relationship. It might've been cool and fun at first. And that's oftentimes how those relationships start, where you kind of have like a more faux or a sort of like a opposites attract sort of situation. I just think that that's what happened. They were hot and heavy, and that flame died quick for him. That her behavior got old quick as well. There's only so many outbursts you want to deal with, or loud behavior. Maybe in certain situations he probably did get embarrassed. So I can totally see that.
Are you acceptive to that type of behavior, like a girl who's like all loud and like he said ghetto? Like there's a video that went viral of her. There's like at a formal event, like a formal dinner, and she's going loud at the table, like yeah, just acting ghetto, like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm talking about just, and he's sitting there like just looking like, damn, like he don't want to just dog her out, but he looking like, man, this is crazy. Like, what did I get into? Like,
I mean, honestly, I can believe it. And I wouldn't necessarily characterize her as ghetto per se, but that
no,
kind
she's
of
ghetto.
energy, that kind of loud,
she's ghetto. No, she's ghetto. She went the day after they supposed to broke up. She went to the club with a whole bunch of girls and put a shot glass halfway down her throat and was twerking.
Ghetto? Is
that
ghetto?
Ghetto than a mofo. That's ghetto than a. I'm listening to her talk. She is ghetto than a mofo.
Got it.
She's straight. I mean, some dudes love chicks like that. They love them ratchet like that.
And I think a lot of guys do. A lot of these like strong, silent types, a lot of these low key, quiet guys, they need something in their life. They need some sort of excitement. And for some people, it works for them. Like their threshold for this is like, it's way up there. They love it. This is all the excitement that they need in their life is a girl like Meg. And so they roll with it. Without somebody like Meg, they would have nothing. But Klay Thompson doesn't necessarily need that, right? So for him, it was probably cute for a little while, or it was fun for the time, and he got quickly tired of it. And
do you think it's embarrassing in public to deal with that?
I think it is embarrassing in public when you are rich, and you're, and you're in certain circles and you're going to certain dinners in certain settings to behave that way. It's embarrassing. Like, it's okay, you're this way, Meg, but why don't you know where you are? Why don't you read the room? Why can't you, you know what I'm saying, be professional in a sense? You know what I'm saying? There are plenty of rappers, there are plenty of people who, they know how to keep it hood, but they also understand where they are. They know that there's a time and place for everything. And so I think that Meg, if I can see her really not caring about the time or the place.
So but you still don't. So you think that it was justified that he felt the way?
Absolutely. I mean, if he couldn't communicate about it, that's sad, but that's a lot of men. That's a lot of people. Hey, I'm not about to have this argument with you with your loud mouth self. I'm just not going to do this. I don't care. I'm just going to do whatever I want. And, I can totally see that happening. Like, he just wasn't even going to have an interaction with her that was going to be crazy. I bet you they probably didn't even break up. They probably didn't even have an actual breakup. He just kind of let her drift away. And she had to surmise it for herself. She had to just decide, oh, we broke up. Like, a lot of these celebrities, they don't even break up. They just drift apart. They go on a vacation and don't call the person back.
What do you damn, this shit crazy, man. I'm really thinking about it. Like, so do you think you feel like, do you feel like she's ever going to be able to settle down? She's like 31 years old now.
I think she's going to want to settle down. She's going to want to.
But she's saying in the new song that she ain't for that marriage shit no more. That wifey shit is dead. All this other stuff. Blah, say blah.
Yeah, I mean, she got, she had an experience where, she thought that she thought she caught Clay. She thought she caught a good man finally, a low key guy that wasn't going to be dogging her out and mistreating her, and he was very nice to her. But just because somebody's nice to you doesn't mean that they're not still going to cheat
No,
on.
but no, but she see that's why I push back with you. Did she invite it by her? Because like think about this. She was always like this article pointed this out, and I noticed it. She was always the one going live posting shit with them, not him. Like they saying that he didn't like that, like always going
I
like he wanted
told
their
you,
private
I
moments
told
private.
you when we talked about this before that I don't think that for him they were in some serious relationship. I think it was serious for her. I don't think he ever took her that
But he bought
serious.
her a house. He bought a house with them together. They live together.
I mean, he's really rich. How much was the house?
Like $500,000, like $1 million, something like that. He bought like a real
Not
house for them to be
that's
together.
not I get it, but that's not a whole lot of money to a Klay
But no,
Thompson.
not $500,000, excuse me, $1 million and like 1.5, something like that.
I
1.2
mean,
million.
to me and you, that's a lot, to maybe somebody else, another sport where they don't make the kind of money that they make in the NBA. I think that that's a write off. He probably
So you
wrote
think
that
he was
lot
just
off.
capping? You think he was just capping with that?
He probably wrote that house off. 1.5 million is nothing. That's like a couple of dollars to Klay Thompson.
So you
And I'm not saying that, their relationship wasn't hot and heavy, but Klay Thompson seems like the love him and leave him type. And he thought that he caught him, maybe a girl that it was the fun and excitement that he needed, that he wanted. But I think it died. I think that shit
so
died
but let
quickly.
me ask you. So when you like let me ask you this, because we
Mhm,
got like 5 more minutes. I want to ask you this. I gotta ask you. So
mhm.
when you're a woman, so when a woman gets into her bag and like start cooking for a dude, like crazy meals and stuff like that, like getting to be extra like she was, like posting shit, like so you think she was really into it and he wasn't?
I do. I think that she really I think she thought she caught herself a good man, okay? Somebody that was rich, somebody that was low key, somebody that was well mannerable, somebody, he's not going to go out and make a rap song about her and what he did to her and blah 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 and talk about her and Tory Lanez. He's not going to do all of that, but other people she dated did. So she just thought she was dating somebody different, and I think that he did like her. I think he liked her. I think he might have loved her. He might have cared for her, but I think her behavior did get old for him. It did wear on him. And even if it wasn't the loud ghetto stuff that she was supposedly doing, it was probably just the constant posting, the constant, just revealing their relationship. Their relationship wasn't private. Nothing about it was. They couldn't
Oh,
have anything just for themselves.
I had
So
to say this
all
though.
these things he was doing.
It's not guaranteed that Clay cheated though. Everybody's putting the cheating allegations on him and nobody's asked him. Like I think we at least have to hear his side before somebody put that on him. Like people can say that, but I don't think it's right to put that on you unless you've heard from that side. I mean, or somebody got smoking guns, somebody got pictures, somebody got evidence. Now she said that he didn't want to be monogamous. That's what she said, right?
And you're right. That doesn't mean that he cheated. Not wanting to be monogamous in a relationship does not mean that he was cheating on her. He might have never committed to monogamy and let her know, like, hey, this isn't going to happen for me. I'm still in the NBA. I'm not slowing down. I'm traveling around. Nothing for me is slowing down. This is just not.
So if you start cooking for a dude, if you
Yeah.
start posting in public and everything, you really like into this dude. Like if you start doing that, like that, like she was doing, because I'd never seen her do that before for no other boyfriend she been with.
Yeah, I think that she wanted to make it happen with Clay. Like, the term like, oh, you're trying to make fetch happen. I think she was forcing the relationship on us, the public, and on him. I think that of course he was engaging with her. I don't think that, she was a complete fool in that regard, but I do think that she was more serious about him than he was about her.
Do you think that ladies should get like a point if you're over posting, but he's not really posting you like that?
Do they think I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Do you think that women should like understand like if you posting him, but he not really posting you like that? Like, do you think that women should like take a good look at that? Like, hold on, I'm posting him all the time, but he ain't really posting me a lot.
For sure. It's energy matching. It's, first of all, why are you as a woman courting a man on social media? Like, that is crazy as hell. Like, there's no way I'm posting a man, that I'm seeing and he's not giving me that energy. He's not celebrating me. So if somebody that you're with doesn't want to celebrate their woman, which there's nothing wrong with doing that. I think I saw Mace like saying that a woman should be grateful if I think if he holds her hand or something like that. I thought that was a little corny because there's nothing wrong with loving a woman. If you
He
love a
got to
woman,
celebrate. He got to celebrate you.
I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I don't like.
Yeah. No, I feel you. No, I feel you. He got to celebrate you, right?
I'm just saying I don't want to be doing things for a man on social media, courting him, loving him, and he's not doing that for me. That's not, clearly he doesn't feel that way about you. It doesn't matter how private a person is. If you are giving them, all this love and affection that they're not returning to you, like that's just, you're depositing the deposits and the withdrawals are not adding up. That's what I'm saying. So yes, I agree that, women, we need to read the room. If a man is really, if he's really into you, he is going to show it. And that's what I believe. I don't believe in, oh, well, I feel this way, but I'm going to act this way. No, that's when a young man is like in 5th grade. He hits you instead of telling you that he likes you. That's not in real life as adults.
So red bone, light skinned chicks, they, you know what I'm saying, they don't have that too much of a problem with dudes like showing that affection.
I mean, the problem is that people are always going after somebody and wanting somebody. It's like unrequited love. People are constantly wanting things that that person doesn't want them back.
Red bone,
too many women.
Skin,
red bone,
Colgate smile.
Now is all the way around like
Colgate.
Listen, I think dark-skinned people are the most beautiful people in the world. And I think that, anybody, it applies to anybody, Ticket. Seriously, anybody that's not reciprocating what, love, you need to get out of there because you're only hurting yourself. And I mean, how often do we see that? How often do we see women chasing a man around, crying about him, laying in bed, they can't get out of bed, and he's just out there enjoying his life, living his life, not giving a damn. So, it is what it is.
Hey, the last one, I said this was the last one. I got one more I gotta ask you about. I got one more. What you think about Dr. Cheyenne Bryant?
Oh my gosh.
I gotta ask you this. I gotta ask you this.
See Dr. Cheyenne Brandt, but I never really cared for Dr.
Are you really that offended by like her not being a doctor?
I'm not offended by her not being a doctor. What I think is wrong about Dr. Bryant or Dr. Cheyenne, whatever she is.
She's super bad now. I mean,
I think she's beautiful. I think she's smart. And I think that I think her voice matters. I think her opinions, are interesting to say the least. And I just, the problem with it is that when you're saying that your opinions hold more weight because you are a doctor, and people are exposing you for not having that, that doctorate or whatever.
But hold on, I want to say this.
Explain that, but
bigger than that, she don't got a man. Like she don't got to like this is something Paul Pierce asked her. Have you seen Paul Pierce podcast?
That's what I'm getting at. That's my problem with Dr. Cheyenne. So she's saying she's a doctor, right? And she's talking about relationships, but yet she's single. And so that's why I think it's
no. She said she got a flame. Like that what she said. She told did you watch Paul Pierce podcast?
No, I didn't watch it.
Watch Paul Pierce podcast after dark. Watch his podcast After Dark. She's on there. And he asked her. He was like, yo, so why you ain't, you know what I'm saying? Why you ain't with somebody? Why you ain't? He said, oh, I see what you doing. She was like, I got somebody, but it ain't formal, it ain't official. Like, he said, oh, so that's what you doing. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like he called her out a little bit on that without like, he ain't trying to smash her out, but he called her out on that. And I noticed, I'm like, hold on. It's all these doctor people telling people what to do in their relationships. They don't even have a relationship like Umar Johnson.
That's what I was going to say. I mean,
go ahead.
Or that guy that got busted cheating on his wife, and he was like, giving out all this advice about, how to treat a woman better. So, I just think people they're hypocrites, right? And the problem is when you're basically throwing stones and you live in a glass house. And I think that Dr. Bryant, Dr. Umar, these people, they want to, they're trying to make it. What's the difference between
Cheyenne
her and
Bryant,
Kevin Samuels? What's the difference
Cheyenne,
between her and Kevin Samuels? Probably nothing.
Cheyenne Bryant's super bad. She's super bad.
I think
Man,
she's gorgeous.
she
I
get
think that
points off.
should
She gets
still.
points off the package. Cheyenne Bryant gets points off the package, man. She is super bad. When I seen a video of her on the boat, I said, "Oh my God, this joint right
made a
here."
name for herself. I don't have a problem with her per se. You know what I mean? It's just, to me, I'm not looking for her opinions though. So like, I'm not watching Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. I might see her guest starring on other people's shows, but I'm not watching her because what is it that she can actually teach me?
But no, I don't like it. Hold on. Somebody said this in the comment section. I don't like the fact that if you're not a doctor, just be real. Don't get mad and snarky at people when they ask you about it. Just keep it 100. You out here telling people that you're a doctor, and somebody say, "Hey, well, show me your credentials." Don't get mad about that shit. You're a beautiful woman.
There's
Okay, let's go. But
difference between having an opinion and trying to give people advice. What would an unmarried woman look like giving a married woman advice? Or what would
facts.
an unmarried woman look like giving somebody the roadmap on marriage? That doesn't make any sense. So,
Do you see that
that's my
comment right there?
problem with Dr. Cheyenne.
That comment says having a man should never be the main goal in life. We're not saying that. I think you missed our point. What we're saying.
Yeah,
We're not saying that. We're saying, I'm saying, at least, I'm gonna ask Dominique right now before we go. I'm saying that if you're giving that type of advice, the advice that Cheyenne, the advice that guys like Dr. Umar give, listen, you can't. Here's how I feel. You can't be Umar Johnson giving advice, and your daughter's out here saying this type of stuff she said about you. Like, you don't got like a stable situation. You out here telling a girl she smelled fishy and she got fish guts and all this other stuff, and it was stinking, but you was down there biting that thing, and you was indulging in that thing. You know what I'm saying? And you was getting down busy with her, but you gonna try and dog her out and call her fishy and everything, but it was good enough for you to swim in that thing. And then on the flip side, Cheyenne, giving relationship advice, but you ain't married, you ain't no relationship, you super bad. But there's a question, like, how can you be that super bad and you ain't, like, you giving advice, but you ain't got your, you know what I'm saying? You ain't married. You're not solidified in that way. So that's just my whole, how do you feel about like that? Like that, I guess I'm gonna ask you, do you agree with me or you disagree when I say that people giving that type of advice should at least have themselves, especially when you call yourself a doctor, at least have your life in a certain type of order?
I couldn't agree with you more. Not only should you have your life in a certain kind of order. I mean, could you imagine if I had been fired from every single job that I ever had, and I'm out here telling you how to get a job and keep it, or I'm giving you advice about problems that you're having, managing people at work, and I'm out here getting fired?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense. It's just simple. It's simple math. And I don't want to hear advice from a single woman about how to be successful in relationships.
You crazy.
I don't. I would never. Like, okay, maybe a lesser woman would want to just hear someone talk nonsense because that's what validated them. A lot of times single women want to hear from other single women because it validates them being single.
Right.
So they can feel like maybe they're not the problem in their life, and they might not be the problem. Not every single woman is a problem because they're single, but I just think that single women should not be out here literally monetizing, and playing on the emotions of other single women, giving them advice about relationships when they are single themselves. I just think that that's really ridiculous.
Yeah, I just wish she would have been upfront with people. Like, I don't like that part. She's super bad though, man. That chick bad. When I seen her on the boat and I said, man, what? I said, man, oh man, all right, man, that junk right there. But that don't be the red flags. When they be like that and they ain't married, like, how old is Cheyenne Bryant? Like, she got to be close to her 40s, but she look way younger.
I think she's in her 40s. That's
she
the
look
thing.
Way younger.
I think she's in her 40s. I think that I don't know what she's done like in her career. I know that a lot of Black women that are older, that are single, they might struggle if they're successful to find a relationship because, you know, a lot of people, it's hard to be successful and to have a successful relationship. You're oftentimes sacrificing something. So I don't think there's necessarily something wrong with women that are single, but I don't think that single women should be out there giving
She's
advice
43 years
about
old.
relationships. So
She's
she's
40,
43, she's
looking
43
20.
years old. She
And that,
probably worked really hard in her, you know, in her life to get where she is. And so it's just, you know, I don't think it's easy navigating relationships and love, but I don't think she should be giving advice about it.
now, hold on, Lady Sunshine, you hating. That wasn't no filters. Her body is impeccable. That was not no filters I seen when she posted that video on that boat. That thing was impeccable. That thing, listen, twin. Listen,
She reminds you of Miss Parker.
You hate. No, she hating when she say it's called filter. That ain't filters on Cheyenne Bryant's. Now, yeah, she might have makeup on her face, but that body, yaddy, she in super great shape to be 43 years old. Super great shape. And I don't think she's ugly I don't think she'd be ugly without makeup.
You should put April Wine's comment on. She said, listen, I'm a freaking mess, but I give excellent advice. I think some people can give good advice. It doesn't mean that we should want to hear it from you. So if your life is a complete wreck and you're out here telling people what to do, you're just basically saying, hey, do as I say, not as I do. People want to follow people who are examples. People get inspired by people who are examples. So if I go to work every day and I'm highly successful in my work, more people are going to listen to me because they're going to say, hey, Dominique, how did you do this? And I'm going to tell them and they're going to say, oh, well, that worked for you. Let me try it. But people are not going to want to listen to somebody who has a bunch of failed marriages. I mean, and somehow people are listening to folks who are single and have failed marriages because they're maybe going viral. But trust me, that's not excellent advice that we're giving as a single person. We need more examples. We need examples to follow, and we need advice that's based in reality, not based in what sounds good. So advice can sound good all day, but a lot of it is easier said than done. What's the reality? You know, if somebody's married and their husband is cheating on them and you call them up as a single woman and say, oh, you should leave your husband, he's cheating, get out of there. That's not necessary. That's not everybody's reality. It's easier said than done, especially for the person who's single with no husband.
Yo, she do be thirst trapping when she be on the gram posting that type of stuff on the boat, like shaking to the music and stuff. That's she be thirst trapping, don't she?
I mean, she's supposed to be a doctor, right? She's supposed to be giving people advice.
She can be my doctor any day of the week.
Well, I mean, what I think about Dr. Cheyenne is if she's a doctor, great. If she's not a doctor, you know, that's too bad, too sad. She got exposed, and you know,
yeah, you can't be doing that. You can't be saying that and doing that and then going out. And on an all serious note, I agree with you. That's whack. Like, don't be. And then here's the thing that I'm gonna say before we go. I hate the most. Don't be then getting snarky with people when they ask you about your credentials. I don't have to reveal my credentials to anybody. I just said, oh, what the hell are you talking about? You come out leading with it. So when somebody asks you something that you leading with, how you got an attitude about it?
I can't.
That right there made me mad for real. Like, we
can't call it, I mean, it's that kind of defensiveness that would lead me to believe that she's lying about something. Because why are you so defensive?
That's the same shit with Umar Johnson. If you ask him about the school, he start getting defensive. How you get defensive against all these people that donated to your school for years? But then you'll get defensive against them and say, "Oh, well, you ain't no supporter of mine." What are you talking about, nigga? People ask you a question. They ask you about the school, dog. You say your school's supposed to be open for years now. They ask you about something that they helped you on. What you come out here with this attitude about? Yeah, you come out here with this goddamn attitude. Always want to avoid that. You can do 1 million interviews, but you ain't do one interview talking about that goddamn on school. I hate that shit. Like, that's the cap out right there. I don't like that. I don't respect that. Like real talk, man. People showed you love on that, man. At least if they ask you about it, bro, be respectful about that. Don't be disrespectful to people. That shit pissed me off. When people do that stuff like that, what he did and what Cheyenne did, like when people ask her about her credentials, I don't like that. That's a turn off.
I mean, it's gaslighting at its finest.
Man, great episode, man. Like always, you already know what it is. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be back
Good
at
to
this
be back.
tomorrow, you guys. Dominique, man, much love to you. You already know, man.
Salute to you, Ticket. Thanks for thanks for
You on
bringing
a
me
whole
back.
different level. And just my thoughts podcast. I think it's episode 10 or 11. I'll find out tonight. It's episode 10 or 11. We got all the episodes, you guys. I got them lined up. All the episodes. I got them on the playlist. So y'all check my playlist for all the episodes for the ones y'all missed before this. Bro, we be having some crazy episodes, man. So I hope y'all enjoy the content. Y'all like, share, and subscribe. Let me know what y'all feel, man. And let them know where they can find you in your channel.
I have a channel, Talk to Me Nice. I also have Sports Tea. Check me out there.
Yeah, y'all make sure y'all check that out. Okay, I'm gonna drop the links as well for that. Okay, so y'all make sure y'all go check her out, sub her up, and y'all know what it is. We'll be back tomorrow night at the same time. Like, share, subscribe, everybody. Appreciate all y'all tapping on in. Okay. All right. Good night, baby.
Good night, Ticket. Good night,
Salute.
everybody. See you
All right,
guys.
y'all. Peace.
Bye-bye.
Hey, we always appreciate the support, and if you guys want to do so, you can use the Cash App or PayPal links. They'll be in the description box below this video or pinned at the top of the comments. The top donators will be announced every month. All right, you guys, hope y'all enjoyed the video. Like, share, and subscribe. Make sure y'all cop the merch, and make sure that you get the weight loss formula. The links to that will be in the description box below this video. Check out our next video coming up right now.